What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we got the culture shocks of working in the Netherlands as an American. Before we dive into this video, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you like to support this channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Let's dive right in.
So believe it or not, but it is going on 4 years since I packed up my family, left America, and moved to the Netherlands. And one of the biggest culture shocks I've experienced here, and I'm still experiencing it today, is the work culture.
I feel that.
And I mean from the paid time off to the amount of hours the average person works. Even to like work perks that you get at certain jobs. And this is coming from someone who came from the South Side of Chicago, an American who works hard, know how to hustle, and all I gotta say is like,
respect.
What are we doing? Like, America, what are we doing? And I do have to state that, again, this is not a diss track for Europe or the Netherlands or America in general. Like, it ain't a diss track. So look, if you pulling up to get some smoke, be ready. You don't want this problem. But this is not a diss track. And matter of fact, I'm not even saying that either country's right or wrong. Matter of fact, I think it should be a mixture of both. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother story. But I am gonna go ahead and say that these are my perspectives, and this is just stuff that, again, it's a huge culture shock. And I am like blown away by it. Because see, I still remember when I got my first full-time job at CBS television, and I was so happy for this job. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for this job, but what I'm saying is one of the things that a lot of corporate jobs go for them is time off. You do get time off, but you're getting like, it's a build-up. Like you have to build up time off, and that's sick days, vacation, whatever. Yeah. You build these days up. So imagine my surprise when I moved here and I got a temp job. They gave me 30 days right off the dome. Like soon as they were like, look, before I even signed the contract, they were like, look, yeah, you're working for like 8 or 9 months, but you get a month off. And now for the life of me, something that I still don't understand was something that the HR rep was telling me about. You're getting paid, even though you work, like, let's just say if you work 12 months out of the year, you're getting paid 13 months or something like that. So that's something I still don't understand. But the point is, in America, it was, when I was at CBS, I had to build this time off based off of how long I was there. Versus here, you come in, before you even sign a contract, that's what's presented to you. Is like, yeah, you're getting this, you're getting that. And it almost sounds like it's negotiable as well. And just to put this into like an even bigger perspective, but in the States, you have to basically accumulate days, meaning you gotta like save up. Do you know how long it takes to like accumulate 30 days of vacation time? Like, a long that's time. Like I'm pretty sure it will take a little bit over 5 years. I mean, you even see the accumulation build up on your pay stub. Meanwhile, over here, they're just giving out 30 days like hotcakes. Man, I'm sorry, but yeah, that kind of threw me off a bit. Like in a good way. I was shook. Like, and now, look, you gotta remember too, I had a temporary contract. It wasn't even like I was like a full-time or considered full-time employee in this role. It was a temp contract. And as a temp, you're still getting paid. Like you're still getting 30 days off. But no, but seriously though, you know what the craziest part about that whole situation is that I was still working for corporate America. It's just that American laws don't apply to EU laws or the laws here in the Netherlands. But I was still working for CBS.
That's crazy. The difference with working for CBS in America and the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, hey, we're gonna take care of you. You know, hey, you're gonna work a while, but we're gonna give you a month off, 30 days off the bat. Off the back. In America, you got 3 days off this year, but if you stay with us next year, we'll bump it to 10. You stay with us for another year, 15, another year, 20, and the more you stay with us, the more you can accumulate those days. But in the Netherlands, off the back, 30 days, at the very minimum, 30 days. That is absolutely freaking beautiful. Shout out to the Netherlands. That's amazing.
Side note, woo, the sun is coming out. We are heading into work and the sun is coming out. The guy in the car was like, just staring at me. So now, back when I was working in LA for CBS, which is in corporate America, I worked every day from like, I would say sometimes 8 or 9, no, about 8-ish or 8:30 all the way till usually 7, depending on the day, sometimes even later to 9.
Oh.
And every now and then, if someone called off, if somebody got sick, I would have to cover for this other person. And most likely they were doing like a night shift or working on a project that took like later in the evening. So legit, no joke, I would literally be working some days from like 8:30 to maybe I would say 12 or 2 a.m. just to go back to work the next day around 8:30. And this was actually normal, and a lot of people did this. Matter of fact, when it came to upfronts, and I spoke about upfronts on the vlog before, but when it came to upfronts, no joke, a lot of us working at CBS would literally stay like throughout the day, like spend the night in our offices. And look, I'm not even joking. There have been times that I've literally taken naps in my boss's office because we were both there all night the night before. And it was also kind of normal to work on weekends as well. Like I cannot tell you how many times I've like ran into work on a weekend because something didn't air or something happened. I mean, matter of fact, I remember one of the saddest moments of me going in on a weekend, I mean, this happened a couple of times, was for, I believe, changing a promo because it had too much, like, let's just say it was an NCIS promo that had like a gunfight or something, because it's NCIS, you know, it's not, it's a cop show, right? Yeah. But I remember needing to go in a few times to change a promo in the end credits because there was like a school shooting or there was a shooting somewhere in the States, and they didn't want to, every time something like that happens, we switch things up and we have to do it fairly quickly due to what just happened. And I'll be honest, this is just the nature of the job. And the reality of the situation was it didn't happen that often, but I do remember it happening often enough to me going in on a weekend to solve the problem or change a promo. Like, I do remember that. Yeah. And honestly, it wasn't just me who needed to go in a lot of times for these situations. A lot of times it was editors, it was writers, it was creative directors, it was even my boss even sometimes to go and approve these, like a situation like that, like a shooting or something happening, knowing that we have a bunch of violent like violent promos on the air. You know, that's something that we had to pay attention to a lot. So if a shooting happened, like a group of people would go in and change these things up quick. I mean, so imagine how shocked I was when I found out that a lot of people who work full time literally only work 4 days. And actually sometimes only 3 days. Like, I know a lot of people that I work with, their parents, that literally only work 4 days, but yet they are full time. And they work for the same corporation that I'm working for, but yeah, they're working 4 days a week. And I think this actually may not be just a Netherlands thing, but I think it might be a European thing, because I also have coworkers from all over, but the ones in Europe, some of them who have kids also have 4-day contracts, but they're working full time. So they may have started off working 5 days a week, but when they had kids, then they drop back to 4 days a week. So it's definitely common, but it is, I mean, I'm telling you, from going from like working 90 to 80 hours a week to like somebody who only works like maybe 36, maybe 30, you know, something like that. That is crazy to me. Yeah. So this is also one of my favorite streets right here. And
work 4 days a week. Chef's kiss. That sounds absolutely beautiful. Like, sign me up. I'm down for it. I know right now, I mean, I'm self-employed and I just do YouTube. But I still end up working 6 days a week on YouTube, bro. But 4 days a week and be considered full time. That's gorgeous. My wife would absolutely love me if I did that. She would be over the moon if I only worked 4 days a week. She'd go crazy.
If you look up, you can see grapes up there. Like, come on, like, let's go back here. Like, look. Look at those grapes. They look good too. And yeah, people live like in these houses. These are houses. These people live right here.
They're gonna pick them some,
man, can you imagine just chilling with a vineyard above you? Like, could you imagine that?
I can't.
Come outside your house making wine. But yeah, just to get back on topic. But like, when you think about it, it makes sense, especially for parents. Like, it makes sense, and it goes back to what shocked me. Like, I mentioned this before of how one of my culture shocks here was how the place seems like it's built for kids. Like, everything is surrounded by kids. That's one of the things. Like, even within the work culture, them giving you a certain amount of time off, or you only working 4 days a week, is so normal, and you're doing it mainly just because you're kids. Like, a lot of people do it because they have kids. And I don't know everything, so look, let me know if I am wrong. I'm just letting you know what I have noticed. Like, I have a coworker who lives in London, and legit, I've even been to the office, met him and everything, but legit, he just dropped down to 4 days a week, and mainly it was because he had a kid. Like, that was the whole thing. And then the same thing happens for a lot of people that I know here who have kids. Like, even the girl that I ended up covering for, she was working 5 days a week. Then she dropped down to only getting Wednesdays off. Like, it's like a whole thing. So it does seem like everything is surrounded by, or everything is meant for, like, the youth to thrive. You know, like, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it, but I mean, if anybody else could explain it better than me, put it in the comments below. Let me know how this whole European thing works. And also, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Okay? We're trying to get to that 100K. And something else that I've also noticed, too, is just not working hours, but the hours of operations, too, just in some places. Like, a lot of places are closed on Mondays, and a lot of places are closed on Sundays. And then they also close extremely early. So it is very rare to see a place that's not a grocery store open past 6. I mean, and not a bar, but everything else, yeah, it's rare to see them open past 6. And now, with all that said, though, I will have to say, I mean, just like in the States, there are a lot of people who work multiple jobs or work long hours. I do know quite a lot of people who do that. A lot of business owners, as well as people who work at restaurants that work at multiple different restaurants. So it is here. It's just, yeah, it's not like, it's not a normal thing to do, I don't think. All right, we got our coffee, and now I remember when I was working back at CBS in LA, and I remember how at one point it got to a point where I kind of needed a work phone, and I still remember it was so many hoops to jump through to get a work phone, or to get, like, just certain things, like certain work perks. Like, you're there full time, you're giving them all this time of your life, and it made a lot more sense having a work phone. And it was just
like, I can't even get a work phone. Like, as much as y'all call me in here, the hell, y'all telling me I can't get a work phone? Like, we got some problems. And again, I think it is amazing. 4 days, right? For parents, you get to spend that family time. Like, that's such incredible bonding time for parents and their children. And so in the U.S., when you got to work nonstop, when bills are stacking up, and to get the full-time benefits, you got to meet that 40 hours, which is usually going to be 5 days a week. It sucks. And most of the time, you're going to have to work overtime. You really don't get that time with your kids. Like, growing up, I respect and love my dad so freaking much because he worked so hard to take care of all of us. But we didn't get to spend, like, a super great amount of time with them. And when we had, like, sporting events, he wasn't always going to be in the stands. Like, he had to work to support us. And so I think this is the way the Netherlands does it is incredible, to make sure that family has such a strong relationship. With shops closing early, I don't know how much I like that, because if everything closes at 6 and I get off work at like 4:35, it's such a short amount of time to get in and go shopping, unless you're shopping on your days off.
A big hassle just to get certain things. I bring up the work phone, though, because that was probably the easiest thing to get, but I never got it, and it was just so much of a hassle. I mean, they wouldn't even pay for, like, your phone bill, even though you're using your phone like 90% of the time for work.
That's
and I don't get me
crazy.
wrong, certain people did get phones, and they did get their phones paid for, and they got other perks. But you had to be a lot higher than where I was, I guess, to get these things. Even though it's almost pushed on you to be like this team player and be able to answer certain emails a certain amount of or certain time of the days, or you remember I said we're coming on weekends. There's certain things that basically required your phone, like that whole thing that I had to do over the weekend, that was always through text messages or emails. So to me, it just makes sense to just pay for your employees to have a phone. If you're gonna be, if they're gonna be holding it down like that, they should have a company phone.
Agreed.
And now my point of this is that it was extremely hard to get company perks. Like, it just was, even for CBS. And I mean, I know other companies do a little bit better with this, but yeah, it was really hard to get company perks. Meanwhile, huge culture shock here was like when I got hired, they just asked me right away. They asked me so soon, like I almost said no to a company phone. It was like, oh yeah, no, we got your phone here, because you need this, you need that. Like they're trying to give me monitors and company phones and laptop. Like I don't want all it. Look, I don't want a bunch of stuff, but they're just offering it. Like they're just offering it. Like legit, just last week, for example, I went into the office and they gave me a new iPhone 15. Now I do have to return my other company phone in, but they upgraded the phone and it was not a problem at all. They're just like, oh yeah, here you go, blah, blah, blah. This is what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. Now, most likely I'm going to return the 15 just because some of the things I need don't really work on the 15 yet. Right. And I need it for work, so I'm probably gonna return it back to them. But my point is, they're just giving it out. You ask for something or you need something, they're giving it to you. You don't have to like jump through hoops and like fill out, like you ain't gotta do none of that. They just give it to you. You're Gucci. You do your work. You give it back when you're done. If it's gonna help you get your job done, they feel like you should have this because it'll help you be more productive. And to me, that just makes sense to me. So yeah, that was a huge culture shock. And something else too that I like recently found out that was culture shock too, because company perks don't only come with like big companies that you're working with. What I've noticed and what I've talked to people around like cafes and restaurants is that they get free food. Like pretty much there's almost a perk for every place that you work at. So the people that work at this cafe right here get free food, get free coffee, get free lunch, dinner, whatever. It's all for free 99. Actually, I do got to take that back because I don't know if this is every place, but I'm telling you, every restaurant and every cafe I've worked in during lunch or just throughout the day or throughout my 3 years being here, there's always like when employees come in for their shifts, they eat first, or when they're leaving they want to stay, they'll have dinner there and drinks and coffee, whatever they need, they get, and it's free. Like I've asked them, it's free. Meanwhile, I remember working at the movie theater in Atlanta, and you'll get free popcorn. That's it. You better not take some nachos. Like they would get upset if you try to take some nachos.
That's crazy. Yeah. Most of the places here, you work in a restaurant, you get like a 20% discount, like on the food. You get a 25% discount, maybe. They're not giving you food for free, bro. And I say most places, because I'm sure there are some who do. But most places, they're not giving it to you for free. That's amazing, bro. It sounds, honestly, it just sounds like the Netherlands care more about their employees. They care more about you as an employee than the USA does. The USA trying to just milk everything they can get out of you. The Netherlands, they going to treat you right. Right? They going to roll out the red carpet for you. And then the ease of getting perks in the USA versus the Netherlands is not even comparable from the way he described it. Like, it was hard for him to just get a phone. In the Netherlands, in the beginning, they offering you all these things off the jump. Like, God, it just sounds a lot better there.
You get free popcorn. They would get upset if you got cheese. Like, you try to get some cheese and bring your own chips, they would get upset about that. Popcorn and drinks.
That's crazy.
That's it. Jeez, how cheap are these companies? And again, even with my job now, I'm telling you, like anything I need, they just give it to me. Oh, you come into work? You shouldn't be paying for that. Like, no, here's a business card. Here's a travel business card just for you. Go anywhere you want. But yeah, it's a funny because even though I work for an American company, I'm still getting treated as if it's like, since it's in the Netherlands, they go by the Netherlands law. So it's so interesting to see because like a lot of my coworkers back in the States, they don't get the same treatment unless they're at a high, like a super high level, or they're working for like Google or Netflix. Like, I know those two companies right there. Woo, free lunch, they give them free everything. But I'm just saying, like most companies don't give you nothing. So that could be just a Netherlands thing, but I'm gonna be real, I don't know. If you do know, light them comments up, letting us know, because I do think it's amazing. Also, let me know how the food thing works, because that really is shocking for me to see employees work at restaurants and cafes get free food, like free meals, like that is, I'm gonna be honest, that is not a thing in the States. If you are a waiter in the States, you ain't getting no free food. And now throughout this whole video, I do have to make it clear that I'm not saying that people here just don't work, or that even in America it's kind of, you know, crazy working conditions or whatever. I'm not trying to actually make it sound like that, especially, I mean, I do like to hustle myself. As a matter of fact, it's actually quite the opposite. People here work extremely hard and very efficient. I do think though that they do a better job of just keeping it all kind of separate, if that makes sense. Like, it's not necessarily work-life balance, because again, there are a lot of people here that work extremely hard, but I do see that they do really well about separating work and life. Because in my opinion, I'm gonna be real, I don't think the hustle mentality, or the way of hustle, and even just the way Americans work or the way other countries work, it's not for everybody. You know, everything is not for everybody, and I think that that's okay. But I will say though, if you are a hustler and you come to a country like this, you can succeed. And also, I do think things here are done a bit more efficiently, like just overall, like almost across the board. A lot of things here are done very efficiently. And I look, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear yours, especially if you know more about what we're talking about. Sorry, I felt like there was a bug on my leg. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Again, this is not a diss track towards the work culture of America versus the work culture in the Netherlands. It is not a diss track at all. And honestly, again, this ain't a diss track towards, you know, corporate America at all either. I love working for corporate, so definitely no shade to them. Those are just some differences that I've noticed as American living in the Netherlands, working in corporate America. I know it's kind of like so cliche, but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed it, because I enjoyed making it. I will see you in the next one.
That was a great video. The perks of working in the Netherlands do sound absolutely fantastic. That's all we got. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, give a video a thumbs up, check out the next one. I'll see y'all next time.